thanks for joining me today in the Recycle Right dumpster.
Oh yes, thanks for having me.
How's the week been so far?
Amazing. It's been beautiful weather, which, I dialed up.
Yeah. Director of Sales and Marketing for Waste Management.
Yes.
It's a pretty important role. What is your day-to-day like? What all does that entail?
So I have the honor and privilege of directing our title sponsorship for this tournament. This is my 6th year doing it, and yeah, it's just an amazing platform, both for us from a marketing and branding perspective. This year, we chose to kind of focus our message more on Recycle Right.
Yep.
And it's been a good adjustment because there's so much to say about this tournament and everything we're doing here to make it zero waste and all of the other sustainability initiatives that we have going. So we kind of use this as our R&D lab, to show what's possible. Because if you can do what we pull off here for 700,000 people, then theoretically you should be able to figure it out in other places and at home and at work and be able to work on it more intentionally.
It's 11th year as a title sponsor for the tournament here. What does that mean for your company, and did you expect to see that 11 years later?
In 2015, that was supposed to be our last year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they announced that we were extending our title sponsorship, and I was for 5 more years at that point. And I was ecstatic. I thought that, we were just starting to kind of, get our momentum with what all we could do, especially in partnership with the Thunderbirds, who have just been amazing to work with. And now I think, today versus 5 years ago, and, now looking forward for 10 more years, I'm so excited to see all of the other brands that are kind of hopping onto the bandwagon, and we're not even necessarily having those conversations with them in the same way that they're coming to here.
They're reaching out to you.
They're reaching out to us, or they're just coming and doing it without us saying a word.
That's awesome.
Like the greenest chow on earth. Not our idea. And yet there it is, and M Culinary, they've been a great partner with us. They handle all the food and beverage and all the hospitality suites on course. And they've just taken on all of the sustainability education that we've basically taught them and brought them along through for the last 5 years. So it takes a long time to work up to where we are today at the tournament, and so I'm just imagining like what even is possible in the next 10 years. Who knows?
Well, yeah, 7 years in a row now. This is the 8th year that the tournament is going to be zero waste.
Right.
How have you seen the tournament evolve over the years from start to end so far?
Well, so when we first became title sponsors, it was interesting because we Waste Management still had the service contract for all of the trash at the time, the waste and recycling on course for the tournament back before we were even the title sponsor.
Okay.
So we've been managing the service contract for the tournament even for a longer time than we've been title sponsor. But since we took it on, the first couple of years it wasn't zero waste, but we started going, well, what if? Just what if we tried? And so then I think the second year we didn't quite make it.
Okay.
And that was the first year that we had sort of tried. I think we got to like 97% or something like that. So it was still pretty good. And then after that, we made it, and we were like, that was doable, and every year since then we've made it a little bit more efficient. We've gotten a little bit better at it. And so it's something that both we and the Thunderbirds have chosen to invest in.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. It's not easy. It's a lot more work to be good to the environment than to just trash it. And so I think that's where it's like getting everybody to realize that you have to kind of do your part. You have to make that commitment. You have to make that investment if anything's going to change.
Right.
So thus I carry around my flippin' reusable Yeti, and no one else does, but I am just taking it on because once you kind of get used to it, it's just become second nature. So that's what we've accomplished at this tournament. So now I feel like our vendors are starting to realize that it's like, this isn't that hard, actually. Once you make the commitment, you try it out, you see what goes right, you see what doesn't, you make the minor adjustments, and then year over year, you're just improving that much more.
It's really just a habit, right? You get in the habit of doing those things, and it becomes somewhat of a daily routine for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Recycling Right is your main initiative this
Yes.
year. What kinds of things are you guys doing this year? I know there's the green scene down there where you're hitting different recyclable things into a trash can. There's fun games. What kinds of things are you guys doing this year?
Yeah, we're trying to make it a little bit more engaging for the fans on course, and trying to, simplify the message again for especially the everyday fan who's enjoying the tournament. We understand that not everyone's going to carry their Yeti around, but if we can at least get people to understand a very simplified message about how to recycle right, and really our biggest contaminants at our MRFs, which is the materials recovery facility where we basically sort through all of the recycling that we collect, is that the biggest contaminants are food, liquids, and plastic bags.
Yep.
So on course, nobody's really carrying around plastic bags, so we don't necessarily focus on that message, So we try to be really intentional and targeted about who's going to see what message when, and try to meet people where they are, keep it very convenient, keep it very simple, and then hopefully they take something away from the tournament, they bring it home and they go, oh yeah, when you're collecting all the plastic water bottles after your party that you had, and there's every single one of them's got like that much water. It drives me absolutely bonkers, which is why I never have plastic water bottles at my party. You might not want to come now. Anyways, then it's like, oh yeah, I have to pour that out first, or finish drinking it even, or put it in your dog's bowl, or water a plant, but don't just stick it in your recycling bin. Really, at a tournament like this, you don't even have to get into the why.
Yep.
Right? Because people don't necessarily have the patience for that. They're
Takes
here
a
to
while
have
to
a good
explain that
time.
sometimes.
Yeah, and exactly. They might not ever get it anyways. And so if we can just get that message that it's like, pour out your liquids, no food in there, no plastic bags, then we're going to be that much better off, and more recyclables will end up having a second life.
Well, I was out there on the course earlier, and it seems like everybody's getting the message pretty well. So
Yeah?
you guys are doing a good job with that. If there's one thing that you'd like the audience today to know about waste management that they might not know about your company, what is something you'd like them to know?
Oh my gosh. Well, I would say that, especially with some of our new leadership and our new CEO, not new anymore, but Jim Fish is really committed to sustainability in a way that I really haven't seen in my company or in many other companies. And so I think that as a leader in this industry, we really are committed to doing what's best for the environment, and it has to be both environmentally and economically sustainable. But that's the reality of the situation. And everyone needs to be willing to make that commitment, make that investment, and demand, that things are recycled, and that you use recycled materials in the manufacturing of new products. So I'd say that we are committed to sustainability, and that people should listen, join in.
It's important. Make that commitment. Recycle right. And I have to ask you, finish with this question. What happened to the H up there?
Oh, yeah. That's so not nice, Hailey.
Can you tell us the story?
I might have broken it. I mean, those things are fragile. Whoops.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Paula.
Thank you.